Welcome back to the Paul White Show. I'm visiting with Michael Pierce, the writer for the outdoor column for the Wichita Eagle, and we've been talking, we hope if you're just joining us, we've been talking about fishing. Michael had an excellent article in the Eagle a couple of weeks ago on Sunday, and I asked him to come on the show and talk about it for you people who don't read the paper. So, because I thought it was an excellent article. Now we mentioned most of a lot of the other fish species before break, but we need to talk about bass fishing. A lot of people like the bass fish. There are white bass and largemouth bass, smallmouth bass.
Yeah.
What are you finding out about them?
Usually your smaller lakes are better with that. Like the article said, Butler State Fishing Lake is a real sleeper for big bass. Gets a fair amount of attention, but people out there are pretty good about catch and release.
Right.
Another really neat lake for bass, and that can be fished from shore or a small boat, is McPherson State Fishing Lake.
Right.
And it's got some nice sizes. I mean, it's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounders. And I've talked to guys that have caught a couple dozen. Not all that size, but
right,
I mean, it's got good structure. I think it's probably 60, 70 acres. So small boat or a float tube or just, walking out on the points and casting. It's pretty good. Eureka City Lake's got some nice bass in it. So,
is there a heated dock over at Eureka?
I've never been on it. I don't know if it's heated or not, but there's a dock. But, I mean, it's getting to be the time now where you don't need to fish on the dock.
You don't need it, yeah.
There's been thousands of crappie taken out of there this year.
Okay, Marion County, not the reservoir. Did you do anything at the county?
I did not call them. It's a good little lake. It's got several arms, so you can usually get out of the wind. It's got a dock there on it. It's one of the lakes where you used to have to be a member, but now you don't. If you've got your fishing license, then you're good to go. The state leases the fishing rights from it.
Right.
So it's a good lake. It produces not a lot, but a few flatheads, and it produces some big flatheads. Got guys that go over there and drift or fish a 3 or 4 inch green sunfish and catch big channel or a big wiper or a big flathead sometimes. Right.
You mentioned it used to be you had to be a member, but now you just have to have a fishing license. The laws have changed as of January 1, 2013, and I don't know how many people are aware of that, but to some of them who go in and purchase a license, probably a little rude awakening if they're between the ages of 65 and 74 now. You used to not had to pay. Everybody was looking forward to being age 65 where they could get a free hunting license and a free fishing license, but that has changed now. You got to pay, in other words, half price if you're between the ages of 65 and 74. It's $11.50 for a fishing license, or you can choose to buy a lifetime at that age for $42.50.
And that's the lifetime is a combination of fish.
Right.
And most people accept it pretty well when they figure out what's going on.
Right.
Everybody that buys anything related to fishing or hunting, every time you sell a package of hooks or a bobber, about 11% of that goes to the federal government for the excise tax. Well, at the end of the year, all that gets divvied up between all the states. And since we weren't selling licenses to the senior citizens, as you know, that's a sizable percentage of our hunters and fishermen.
Absolutely.
All that money that they were paying, that 11%, was going to other states. So by charging them, and this is about the minimum wildlife and parks can charge them and still qualify for the, but it's a pretty good investment. I mean, if they spend $40 on a lifetime, that may bring $200 to $400 in on the taxes through the year. So and our average age of our fishermen and our hunters is going up.
Going up, absolutely.
So we gotta have funding. I mean, it's that doesn't seem fair, but when you think about it, $40 for 10 years.
Right.
That's not even even jar shad.
No.
Besides.
No. No, you're absolutely right.
As we discussed, and most people have been supported when they first thought, it's just the state gigging them, trying to get more. When most of them realized where it was going from, and the money they'd been spending was going out of state.
Right.
They're pretty understanding and accepting.
Yeah. And now you got more local places to fish. You don't really have to worry about gas. You can,
Sure.
most of the places go right down the street and you at a lake.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
That's stocked by, you know,
Wichita has one of the better community fishing programs in the nation.
Right. And, from April to September, they stock them, you know.
Yep, they're gonna stop the trout pretty quick.
Right.
Start the catfish.
Right. Yep.
There's some good fishing in them.
Yep. Yeah, you only got till April on the trout. And,
well, that's the last stocking they make. Yeah.
Yeah, the last stocking, but you can catch them after that, as long as you got a trout permit. But and also they did change the laws on the water, the live wells on the boat if you can get it in the water.
Well, yeah.
You got to drain them.
Pretty much. You go to a lake, you've got, when you pull out, you've got to drain it, and that means you can't carry a live well full of fish home.
Right.
So you've got, a lot of people say, well, put them on ice
or
whatever. They did change the law to where used to be you couldn't catch any of your own bait and transport it.
Right.
A fish-based bait like minnows. Now they allow you to transport one of two species. Mm-hmm. Either it's bluegill and green sunfish, which a lot of people call perch.
Right.
Those can be transported as long as they're caught from water that doesn't have an aquatic nuisance species.
Right.
So you could not go catch them at Cheney or Winfield City Lake because they have zebra mussels. But as far as somebody's pond or a little creek out there or something like that, then you could catch them and you can transport them live. Now that just changed.
Yeah.
This year. So.
Yep. And when you purchase your live bait, you got to have this permit now with the bait shop on it that you purchased them from, and they got a certified number on them, and it has to be checked off. And they do check when they check your bait for them slips.
And you have to have it on you.
Right.
You've got to have it. And same thing, they're trying to keep people from transporting invasive species.
Right.
Especially the silver carp.
Right. Okay, Michael, we're going to take another break, but just before I take a break, hey, I'm going to give away some bait. We talking fishing. I have some CJ's punch bait that I'm going to give you. I'll take the first two callers at 265-9930. That's to get some CJ's punch bait. The first two callers, 265-9930. We'll be right back after the break.